All right, greetings. All right, I'm in. Where am I? It's not California. It's in Orlando. I haven't been here since things of. I haven't been here since what was it? March. So a little bit change of pace. I've been kind of moving around recently and change of energies. It's been kind of yeah. I just feel like you're something different. So so today it's going to be so do human you can see the Anunnaki stuff for now. We'll change up the subject matters a little bit, and this will be about human cloning, and also want to go into the Orions and prison planets. Um, so I'm not sure if anybody's all that aware of the movie because they put it right in front of you. Of course, it's in books and all that, but you can keep up with all that. But a good example is Alien 3. And let's see here. Do I know what I'm. Yeah. So, Alien 3. Planet is. I don't know if I can pronounce that. Florina. Fury 161. They also have a slight explainer. Those has insect energy there. Um, so I believe with these alien movies, of course, it's when you look up alien, you get a parasite. So you dive into a little bit more. They're basically telling you what's going on. Of course, the horror movies. How many people really want to dissect something like that and just see it as entertainment and just move on, right? Also, there's Alien 2, the second Alien. I believe this one had terraforming in it. They had terraforming equipment in this. And once again, it's a horror movie putting stuff, information right in front of you. I'm pretty sure it's terraforming, but man, I cannot find it for that end of it. But anyway, so I don't know what I'm doing here. Yeah, so that I've been watching a little bit of Alien 3 to get an idea. It's yeah, it's a prison planet. I don't have all the details. I can't remember everything, but I, th- I don't know if I had 2,000 people on it or what, or more than that. I just where it says like 2,500 people on it. It's all men. Every vile thing you can think of. And then the Ripley girl from the second Alien arrives. She's the only woman on the planet. So, and these guys just sit in jail all day. I'm not sure. Yeah, they're all bald because of lice. And it just even the Alien franchise went down the ground. I mean, this movie tanked the Alien franchise also. But I believe it is giving us kind of clues because I believe, uh, yeah, there's other planets out there that are a lot more complicated than ours. I mean, I think this is helpful in the long run of seeing what they're putting. I mean, the Alien movies are multi-million dollar, probably more than that. But and they're putting stuff right in front of us. It's all on how you look at it. So, it's kind of continuation from yesterday. Orions and wherever else, we'll just go with Orions, reptilians, whatever. They had plans. They took over it and they practiced. Well, I say practice, but they knew what they were doing. They learned little by little of how to take over a planet. And as you can see, we're made to conform here. We have no choice, right? So if you stop working, you pretty much starve to death, or you live on the street, whatever it is. So you have to keep working. It has they call it normal. I mean, yes, you grow from it, but still, it's kind of inhumane when you think about it, especially when you see the health conditions on the planet. So, of course, if you look at that that world, in Alien 3, it's only like 2,500. I think it's 2,500 males. It's like, geez, I never seen a woman in like years, years. Just a bunch of bald guys running around. So yeah, there's always somewhere worse. I believe there are places like that in Orion and probably other places. But what I got from this too was about the Atlanteans. Yeah, I felt like they. I don't know if this is ever mentioned, but they. I don't know. I can't keep track of the whole world talking about them, but I believe a lot of them died of disease, and which you know, disease is brought from other planets, just like how we have diseases, and it's through insect from other worlds, and that can be small, they don't have to be big. Diseases, and that's another way the Atlanteans got sick. Of course, they have to lower their vibration up where they can even get sick, and that has to do with their with the pyramids being built and doing their harmonic energies, and it does mess with you. And they just, I mean, I believe it would have been fine, but some screwed with it and caused a lot of difficulties in their vibration. So, as usual, is disease. And it's so that's why the insect is so important. That's why Alien movie has a parasite. When you start putting these things a little together, it's like, and you can say it comes from Mars, it comes from wherever. Who knows? I mean, it's still the origins. I believe we're Orion in the long run, but it doesn't matter. We're serious. I feel like it's Orion from what I'm gathering here. Of course, they might have morphed it in different types, but either way, agendas through insect energies. Of course, you can get malaria through insects and get all kinds of stuff, ticks, Lyme disease. So it's like, yeah, insects are. So yeah, of course, you make a movie about an insect, a parasite, and it looks like a god being practically. It's like it's advertised as like this great. And it's like when you start looking at things a little bit differently, yeah, you get a little bit more different perspective. It's kind of a big deal. Um, so, but when I was connecting to that, I just felt Atlanteans getting sick, illness, where they start getting old, where they start can't think right, and their vibration was hit such a level of basically to bring their vibration up just enough so they can get infected by something like this. Of course, they can use sound. Of course, the sound was part of bringing their vibration. It just shifted them where they weren't expecting it. So yeah, so it's like when you play loud music, it's kind of hard for anybody to concentrate. So tones are very important. So yeah, yeah. So I don't know where things are going to go. It feels like I believe I've mentioned this already, but yeah, we're going into a time of like in the background, things are shifting to a more lighter energy. Of course, you might not see it physically, but over time, I believe. In some darkness, it might be feel like it is getting darker, but it's a major release. But it doesn't mean it's going to be everywhere. It doesn't have to be with you either. You have to let it take you over. So anyway, okay, all right, going to continue a little bit of Anunnaki, go into a little bit of the cloning energies because, of course, it has to do. So I might, so depending on that, anyway, we'll just go into it. It's just that it makes sense. You have Anunnaki, you have cloning, and it's still kind of a mystery for obvious reasons. So cloning is like money. Like with the elite, you mess with their cloning, however you do that, you'll get your attention. You mess with their money, they'll get your you'll get their attention. Probably other things too, but those are probably the big ones. So anyway, I don't know. I got a message about cloning before I go on. It's like sure. All right, this is going to be a little by little things here and there, so I can give a whole data dump. I don't feel like they're going to do that. Yeah, we're not ready for it. Jeez. But it's like we're warming up to more fourth dimensional energies, obviously. Um, so anything can go. Yeah, we have to get to a certain level where we can handle any type of contact what was in our freaking minds, at least some of us at least. So because I think it's gonna be more intense than what people might think. It's not just them showing up; their vibration is just so different. Even if they are in the third dimension, it's still a different energy. I'm not the only one that says that, but anyway. Okay, all right, blessings. Here we go. Greetings. This is Enki and Anu, both of us. Greetings here, civilization. Cloning as every body is cloned to some extent. That's where we learn. So you can say technically you're all clones of each other from the embryos. um, no one is just alike. So taking a single, yes, a slight tissue of you, has to be skin. It works better with skin. Blood doesn't work so well, but skin tissue is enough DNA particles and some hair, but skin tissue is enough to actually create a body clone of yours. Doesn't mean your soul is going to be the same. No, the souls are actually usually weaker that we bring in. We have a more control over it. At least that's being done on your planet this time. So yes, that's where it gets a little bit controversial. Now, there are astral souls that you can clone yourself instantly there. And some of those souls are the ones that decide to come into your clone body. Some souls are fragmented in their astral realms where they need a body like yours. They're part of you already. But it's like they're made to be a clone being of you. It's like you create one just for that task, for you to be cloned. Like basically a version of you, slightly different. Because as soon as that clone's made, at your 30 years old, 40 years old, 10 years old, it starts to it's as soon as it's created, it's different than you. Even the personality of the being, yes, that's why we tone it down quite a bit. Which that's done in your modern times. Actually, your military is much involved with, your secret military. Um, they're told not to pay too much attention to it. But actually, souls do come in, clone souls come into a body quite often, yes. But the physical body can evaporate, break down very easily. Yes, have a mental breakdown because it's never exactly the same. So it takes a mind of its own, but it depends on what age you get it at. Now you get a clone at a young age from a kid, it can work halfway decent. But if you clone someone at 30, expect it to fall apart. And it goes throughout the ages. Yes, we're not going to go into full details of how this works for obvious reason, let your imaginations flow. But there are human clones of. Realize you're those that are in your public eye currently. Those that are running your planet publicly, politicians, etc. Um, they already made an agreement so cloning can't occur, especially with celebrities, to keep the beauty going. And the personality is kind of swayed and lost its muster. Um, and that's once again, it's like some soul just let my clone do it. I'm out of here. uh, yeah, Dave Chappelle is one of those. So yes, what we speak is going to be a little bit. Some aren't going to agree, which is very controversial because it's very part of your modern reality. So when a soul incarnates into your world, they already know what they signed up for. And cloning, yes, is checked box there. Well, it has to do with longevity, security reasons, alien beings who abduct clones all the time also. So they abduct a clone, and it does happen. And of course, you replace it with another physical copy. It's not exactly the same. So it's another reason why some are breaking down faster than others. Joe Biden's a good example of one that's kind of breaking down, as you can see. No matter how much adrenochrome they put into his body, it's still not enough. So it's a fuel for the clone. Adrenochrome is. It's used for other things too, but also can help the facade because you put out adrenochrome, you put it into the body and it puts out a vibration. It continues the energy, even if the body is kind of like checked out. But still, it controls the aura. It can. It's like, oh, that's him. And that is the thing about those that are trusting the physical all the time and letting their eyes be deceived as maybe going more non-physical. So we're in a transitional time of more non-physical understanding. And many of you, your third eyes will open up over time, so to see through the facade. It's not going to happen instantly. So yes, the domino effect on your planet is occurring. Your politicians are going to slowly reveal themselves, mostly through your third eye. Some of you are seeing a great deal. Some of you might see a reptilian being over a human. Have you seen sketches of this where it's actually a reptilian, like actually physically or non-physically, over a politician, kind of controlling it, which does happen in the fourth dimension. It's rare, but it does occur, depending because the motor skills of that clone or that being in general is not always cooperative. So you have a being that stands behind it, keeps it doing what it's here to do. So the genesis of your reality, yes, is false. It is playing. It's like as you know, you're like in a video game. You are in a movie slash video. Of course, video games are becoming movies. So video games are actually revealing your reality right in front of you as it's becoming more realistic. As video games become more realistic, you start to see your reality become unrealistic. You get more of the idea of how it interworks. Of course, most of societies are going to agree with that because they're playing by the rules, by their controllers. Not quite ready to release from that just yet because there's contracts there. Humans have contracts with being what you call normal or your third dimensional human calls normal. So you wonder why people aren't waking because the contract they signed. And there's many layers to that contract. As some of you can probably feel. It's a complicated situation you have on your planet. You're going into a new renaissance of the non-physical. So Dulce, yes, is actually an old military complex where clones, yes, the rumors are true. It actually is more disgusting than people might realize. It is kind of like your Alien 3, your movie is similar to that and basically human decay. Basically, the care for human life isn't very high. And most people are not going to believe what's happening, but you are experiencing it right in front of you. Once again, many clones do not operate on a 100% function, especially done at an older age. The younger ones have their own ways of going about it. So you think you're connecting to a president, that's the original, but a lot of times it's not. Because the kid can be switched with the clone. A kid's like 16 or 17 that's going to play a big part in your society. A clone can be switched, put in there. And who would know? Because you go through changes. Oh, you're just changing and you're just getting older and figuring out who you are. So that's usually the best time to throw in a clone. It's cooperative. And there are cloning farms. There's also basically military installations. Where they are, I'm not going to go into detail. Basically seeing what clone works the best. So you think like an army of versions of yourself where you have a commander that's not you to see which one hacks best like you. You think I'm joking? Well, you're not seeing it here in the physical now. but times do change. Well, people aren't ready to allow more. Well, your modern world is not. Now they make movies about all this, but be damned if you ever see it in real life. Well, technically you are through a film, yes, because they are showing what they have to show, but they fictionalize it so much, even add a horror element to a movie to fully just like this is fiction. They want to make sure that you think it's fiction when in truth it's not really. So the quoting vibrations are, well, we'll go into more details, but that's all we can say actually. Blessings. Greetings, brother Orions. Greetings. This is the aspect of Orion. Greetings to your society. You are all looking well today. So yes, prison worlds. Realize also prison planets are also to teach your military, alien military, how to act upon a society. So you capture humans. Now, on your believable list, it's probably on your unbelievable list. But we're here to open up minds, those of you who are connected to this in the astral realms, the fourth dimensional realms, wherever it might be that you're connected. Because there's different. Astral is fourth dimension, but there's also another astral realm on top of that. So let's just put it this way. Why human? Now realize there's slave worlds everywhere. Not just your world. Yours is very popular because you're being told, yes, your world is not as bad as other planets. That is very true. It is. It's unique because it's so different. It is. It could have been completely, made of darkness, but as you can see, there is light here. It's half and half, half dark, half light. You made the choice of it. It still has a prism energy, but also has the freedom vibrations. You go to the Bahamas, you can lay down, take it easy. Uh, you go to the Bronx, you might be living behind bars, or South Africa, where you might be happier living underground. Living underground, not a coffin underground. So prison worlds, why they're for aliens that are like your Napoleon like alien beings that they want to conquer. We'll just use him for example. Alien beings that capture a species, we'll just call it human, put them on a prison and learn the psychology of them. How do you make they learn how humans work? So that's another reason why Atlantis. A lot of humans were abducted from their planet from a long. So human trafficking has gone on since the beginning of time. So not all worlds are set up like that. Not all worlds have to go what you're going through. Some worlds, like just like in your own lives, some people go through abuse. Other people are here to heal the abuse. It's the same thing. Not all worlds have to be, go insane. So what you are learning here, we have a distraction moment. Your internet is a joy. Actually, that was quite a big distraction. One moment. Yes, for reptilian beings, whatever it might be. So prison worlds are created, yes, to understand psychology of a species that are to conquer. First off, conquering. So first off, you design it. You take over a planet, a primitive world, or just you find a world that nobody wants. That's usually the most unbearable, is the easiest, and you abduct and bring them to that world. Now, the reason we're mentioning this is to wake up some minds out there. Yeah, many are just, well, not many are really ready to see these things either. Who is? That's why you have your video games, which is nothing wrong with a video game, but it's educational, but also can disconnect you from this reality, which isn't always so bad. But it's up to you what reality you want to live in. But we're not going to go into that. That one's very complicated. We're not talking about that this time. That's kind of like a mental prison for some people. We're just saying through our observation. But prison planets are, yes, there's many of them. Yes, the populations are usually not many. It's easier to control. Once again, it's all by psychology. Once they learn what they need to learn, then they use it for other reasons. So understanding. So basically, where we got, yes, some Atlantean beings were abducted and put on prison worlds in Orion from your planet to get to know and understand how humans operate, at least on a different scale. Yes, they're very different than you, but once again, as you understand the hijacking of your planet, basically they want to bring out the worst out of you. So you gotta find how you tick. The psychology of it, that's why they have teachers on your world that are most likely building a prison in your mind, then keeping you free because they're programming you. They program you at a young age through cartoons, as you can see. But the cartoons have to have little things in their fantasy and all that to help you remember where you're coming from, and then add a little manipulation there. And then so on and so on. And everybody has their own manipulation. Energies, friends can have it more than others. You're all kind of here to manipulate each other, as you can see. A lot of that's going to start to change, as you can feel. We feel that you're more coming into your own. There's many more awares, of course. But prison worlds are alien, military bases, basically. And yes, it's put right in front of you. The Alien movie, we can't go into detail, I believe some of us already mentioned, but yes, the fly is the most powerful insect. So people don't wonder if the insects are, you might not think they're that sophisticated, but what they can do to a world when they're unleashed onto a planet, you might look at things a little bit differently. You throw a human on the world or a bunch of humans, you're what can happen? I mean, yes, you can do some stuff, but you throw a bunch of insects on a planet, nobody can see them. They come out of nowhere. It's like an infestation. It's like, so I think you're getting an idea of how this works. So the insect is worshipped on other worlds. They have giant, you can say, statues of them on other planets also. They go by the guy. They warn the insect of how, yes, they do create their own insects too. The program, well, you're not exactly like an AI, but sort of, not really. But they kind of operate in that way. But you raise an insect to do what you want it to do. How many of you are doing that right now? If you want to understand the alien element, you have to start thinking like one. Is it terrifying? Oh, well, if you're used to your average world, yes. But when you're trying to understand alien energies, it all makes sense, doesn't it? We're not talking about a flea circus. You can have your own home with little. No. We're talking about training an insect being, yes, to control a planet. And that's another reason why prison worlds are used. Prison worlds are all over the place, though. That's what part of what your war is. So you have half knowledge of it and half no knowledge. Well, meaning that some of you are experiencing it now, call your daily lives, and others are not. Others are going to the beach, going to different islands, they're going all over the place. And they don't know what that prison energy is, but many of you do when you have a 9-to-5 job where it's right in your face. But you're here to unlock that. And that is what we are here to give you a different perspective. Help you figure out what you want in your world. So blessings from Orion. Love and kisses to you all. Blessings. Blessings.